My heart sank as I stared at my laptop screen in a San Francisco hotel room, watching my father at our family's oak dining table, a whiskey glass in hand, oblivious to the live stream broadcasting his words to the world. "Maya?" "Pfft," he scoffed, shaking his head. "My daughter thinks her little graphic design gig makes her a big shot. Couldn't cut it in law school, and now she's just doodling for a living, floundering like a lost cause. My cousin Leo texted me an hour ago. You have to see this. I'm so sorry." He'd linked to his latest YouTube vlog, part of his quest to become a travel influencer. I was at a design conference in Oakland, hoping to pitch my freelance work to tech startups, when our family gathered for their weekly Sunday brunch in our Mission District home. I'd just settled into my hotel room when Leo's message turned my world upside down. "I'm Maya Torres, 30 years old, and for the past 4 years I've been quietly paying my father's medical bills after his heart attack led to chronic cardiac issues. I've driven him to cardiologist appointments, sorted out his insurance claims, and covered his medication costs, all while building my graphic design business in San Francisco's cutthroat creative scene. Nobody at that brunch knew I'd maxed out my credit cards last year to pay for his bypass surgery when his insurance denied coverage. It's pathetic," my father continued on the video, basking in the attention from my aunts and uncles. "She had dreams of being a lawyer, fighting for justice, or whatever. Now she's just making logos for coffee shops and startups that'll crash in a year." He laughed, and to my horror, my Aunt Carla and Uncle Diego joined in. Leo's camera, angled discreetly from his lap, captured it all, likely trying to film family vibes for his vlog. My father had no clue he was being recorded, making his words sting even more. "Remember when she dropped out of law school?" he said, turning to Aunt Carla. "Came home blubbering about the stress, the exams, weak. Now she thinks designing a few posters makes her successful." The truth was, I'd paused law school to support him after his heart attack. Graphic design offered flexible hours and decent pay, letting me manage his care while keeping us afloat. Every spare dollar went to his medications, not my bar exam prep. "Maya just doesn't have the spine for real success," he said, sipping the whiskey I'd bought for the brunch. "Some people aren't wired for it." The stream went on for another painful minute before Leo shifted the camera. I sat frozen, tears streaming down my face. For years, I'd brushed off my father's sharp comments as his tough love style or stress from his illness. But this wasn't a slip. This was his truth, laid bare. My phone buzzed. Leo again. "I'm so sorry, Maya. I didn't catch what he was saying until it was too late. Want me to pull the video?" I stared at the text, my fingers trembling. "No," I replied. "Keep it up. I'll show you something tomorrow when I'm back." The drive from Oakland to San Francisco the next morning was a blur of Bay Area traffic and foggy bridges. My father's words echoed in my head, his sneer, the family's laughter. 4 years ago, I was 26, thriving in law school, dreaming of defending the underserved. Then came the call. Dad had collapsed at his auto shop, rushed to the hospital. Diagnosis: severe coronary artery disease requiring lifelong care. "It's not fair," he'd said from his hospital bed. "Insurance won't cover half of this. How am I supposed to manage?" I'd promised to help, believing our bond was unbreakable. My mom passed when I was 15, leaving just us. Despite his gruff demeanor, I thought he valued me. He'd worked double shifts to fund my debate camps. Now it was my turn. I left law school and started freelancing as a graphic designer, thinking it was temporary, just until his health stabilized. But temporary stretched into years. His condition required constant management, medications, specialists, rehab. I became his case manager, spending hours fighting insurance companies and researching treatments. "You're so reliable," he'd say occasionally, rare praise that fueled me through late-night design projects and early morning hospital runs. Pulling into my apartment's parking garage, I didn't tell Dad I was back. He thought I was still in Oakland, pitching to clients. My phone buzzed. "Leo, I'm at the cafe on Valencia. Ready when you are." I grabbed a folder labeled Dad's Medical from my desk, filled with 4 years of receipts, insurance forms, and appointment logs, proof of every dollar and hour I'd poured into his care. I'd kept it for taxes, never imagining it would expose his betrayal. At the cafe, Leo's spiky hair and vintage camera made him stand out. At 22, he was all nervous energy, guilt etched on his face. "Maya, I feel terrible," he said as I sat. "I was just vlogging the brunch for content. I didn't know Dad would go off like that." "It's not your fault," I said, sliding the folder over. "Actually, I owe you." "Owe me?" Leo looked baffled. "For what?" "For showing me the truth." I opened the folder, revealing stacks of documents. Every payment for Dad's care, meds, surgeries, insurance premiums, all of it. Leo's eyes widened as he scanned the papers. "This is thousands. Over $110,000, I said. I put my law career on hold for him. My savings, my plans, everything went to keeping him alive. And he calls you a failure?" Leo's voice shook with anger. "That's so messed up." I nodded, a calm settling over me. I thought his criticism was just his way of pushing me. I was wrong. "What's next?" Leo asked. "I'm done." I closed the folder. "I've started pulling myself off his accounts." "You're not confronting him?" "No point. He'll just say I'm too sensitive." I opened my banking app and transferred the small fund I'd saved for his next treatment into my personal account. The action felt like breaking a chain. I've been saving a bit each month, hoping to go back to law school. Now, I'm doing it. Leo's face lit up. "You're going back?" I showed him the acceptance email from UC Hastings, received months ago but nearly deferred again for Dad's care. "I start in the spring. No more delays." He squeezed my hand. "I'll send you the full video, just in case." As we left, I felt lighter, the weight of years lifting. The guilt I'd expected was absent, replaced by clarity and purpose. The next day, I called the insurance company. "I'm removing myself as the guarantor for Javier Torres's accounts," I said, voice steady. The representative hesitated. "This will raise his premiums significantly, and his coverage may change." "Are you sure?" "Yes. Please send a letter detailing the changes to his address." I knew the letter would arrive in days, giving me time to finalize my plan before Dad realized. My phone buzzed with his texts. "Where are you? Missed my appointment. Pharmacy denied my meds. Fix this, Maya. Each message strengthened my resolve. I silenced my phone and kept working. By evening, I'd untangled most financial ties and drafted an email to the family. Dear family, after careful thought, I'm stepping back from managing Dad's medical care and financial support. For 4 years, I've covered over $110,000 in expenses for his heart condition, medications, surgeries, premiums. This decision is personal, but I wanted you to know, as he may need help moving forward. Attached is a breakdown of my contributions. I hope you understand this wasn't easy. Best, Maya. I attached a spreadsheet detailing every payment and appointment. Leo sent the full vlog video, which I saved in multiple places: laptop, cloud, USB. I wasn't sure if I'd use it, but it felt like a shield. The doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Dad, his face flushed with anger. Maya, open this door. I stayed silent, watching his shadow. You missed my appointment. My meds were denied. What are you doing? Through the door, I said, I'm done, Dad. You'll get a letter from the insurance company. Read it carefully. What? Open the door. No, I heard what you said about me. It's time we move on. He exploded. Is this about money? After all I've done for you? Goodbye, Dad. Don't come back. I walked away as his shouts faded, returning to my laptop. Each step felt lighter. The fallout hit fast. My phone buzzed with family texts. Aunt Carla called me selfish. Uncle Diego said I was cruel. Only Leo and my great-aunt Sophia understood. Sophia's message was brief. You're brave, Maya. Call if you need me. I blocked Dad's number, then muted the relatives who didn't ask my side. The silence was peaceful. A week later, I sat in UC Hastings' admissions office, finalizing my spring enrollment. Your LSAT scores are still strong, the advisor said, reviewing my file. You'll need a refresher course, but you're in a great position. I'm ready, I said, excitement rising. I've been studying again. Walking across campus, I felt at home among the law library's stacks. My design business would need tweaking, fewer clients, maybe an intern, but without Dad's expenses, I could manage. A letter from the insurance company arrived at my apartment by mistake, addressed to Dad, detailing his new premiums. I felt no guilt, only vindication. 2 weeks later, Leo called. Family chat's wild. Dad's saying you're having a breakdown, that your business is failing, and that's why you're acting out. I laughed. Classic. What else? He's moved in with Aunt Carla temporarily, saying he'll sort out his medical stuff. Of course, I said. He's always found someone to bail him out. I glanced at the video file on my laptop. It held power, proof of who Dad was. But did I need to use it? The family members buying his story without asking me weren't worth convincing. I closed the laptop, focusing on my law school prep and design projects. A month later, I was wrapping up a branding project when I saw them, Dad and Aunt Carla, standing by his truck in the studio parking lot. My stomach tightened, but I faced them. Maya, we need to talk, Dad said, his voice overly warm. Up close, he looked weary, clutching his cane. I have nothing to say, I replied, gripping my keys. Aunt Carla stepped in. Your father's struggling. His premiums are insane, and he can't afford his meds. Is this what you wanted? What I wanted, I said, was respect for 4 years of sacrifice, a father who didn't call me a failure behind my back. Dad's eyes widened. What are you talking about? I saw Leo's vlog from the brunch. I heard everything. Aunt Carla frowned. What vlog? Javier, what's she talking about? Show her if you want, I told Dad. It doesn't change my decision. His tone shifted to pleading. I'm your father, Maya. How can you abandon me when I'm this sick? Anger flared. Abandon you? I gave up my dreams for you. I spent $110,000 on your care. I built this business to keep you alive, and you called it a failure. You laughed at me. Aunt Carla looked at Dad, doubt flickering. Javier, what's in this video? He ignored her. I'm sorry if I hurt you, but this is extreme. I could die without my meds. I supported you for 4 years, I said. Now it's someone else's turn. To Aunt Carla, I added, he's with you now, right? Has he asked for money yet? Driven him to appointments? Her silence spoke volumes. I wish you both well, I said, turning to my car, but I'm done being manipulated. You can't walk away from family, Dad shouted. I paused. Family doesn't tear each other down. Maybe ask yourself who walked away first. As I drove off, I saw Dad berating Aunt Carla. Some things never changed, but I had. 3 months later, I stood in my studio, finalizing a mock trial brief for my law class. I'd hired an intern, Sophia, to handle design admin while I studied. The transition was tough. Long nights, tight budgets, but every case I analyzed felt like a step toward my true self. The San Francisco Design Awards came unexpectedly. My work was nominated for the Tenacity Award, honoring creatives who persevered through adversity. You're a lock, Sophia said as we prepped for the ceremony. Running a business while starting law school? That's tenacity. I didn't expect to win, but the event felt like a milestone. In a teal dress, I mingled with the Bay Area's design community, feeling confident. My phone buzzed. Leo. Emergency. Dad's in the hospital, possible med reaction. He's asking for you. I stepped outside to call. Is he stable? Yeah, but they're keeping him overnight, Leo said. I didn't want to call, but Aunt Carla insisted. The line shuffled and Aunt Carla's voice came through. Maya, your father needs you. The doctors have questions about his history. The awards were starting, but I made my choice. I'll come after my event. About 2 hours. This is your father, Carla snapped. You can't prioritize a party. I'll be there when I can, I said, hanging up. The old Maya would have dropped everything. Not anymore, and the Tenacity Award goes to Maya Torres. The room roared as I walked to the stage, stunned. The trophy felt grounding. Thank you, I said into the mic. This business wasn't my dream. It was a necessity. For years, I balanced it with sacrifices, thinking I was helping someone I loved. But tenacity isn't just enduring. It's choosing yourself. I'm now pursuing my law degree while running my business, and this award reminds me we can rebuild our lives no matter the obstacles. The applause carried me back to my seat. Later, at the hospital, I found Dad alert, with Leo and Aunt Carla nearby. Nice of you to show up, Dad said, his tone sharp. I came as soon as I could, I replied, setting my bag down, the trophy box peeking out. How are you? How do you think? I collapsed, and you were at some fancy event. Aunt Carla intervened. The doctor adjusted his meds. He's fine to go home tomorrow. I'm glad, I said. I came to answer any medical questions. Dad's frustration boiled over. This wouldn't have happened if you hadn't cut me off. My insurance is garbage now. I supported you for 4 years, I said. I gave up everything, my law career, my savings, and you called me a failure. I heard it all on Leo's vlog. Aunt Carla's eyes widened. What vlog? Leo spoke up. The brunch. I recorded Dad saying awful things about Maya. Dad's face hardened. You're blowing it out of proportion. I set the trophy on the table. I won this tonight for running a successful business despite challenges, like paying for your care while you mocked me. Aunt Carla stared at the trophy, then at Dad. Javier, what did you say? I don't wish you ill, Dad, I said, but I'm done sacrificing for someone who doesn't value it. I left, Leo following. You okay? He asked. Better than okay, I said, smiling. I'm free. 6 months later, I stood in a courtroom, practicing a mock trial for my law class. My professor praised my argument, and I felt a spark of pride. A text from Leo. Your SF Chronicle interview is viral. 25K views. The paper had profiled me as a career pivot success, highlighting how my design work funded my law school return. As I left the courtroom, my phone rang. Uncle Diego. Maya, I saw your interview. It's inspiring. Thanks, I said, wary. Your dad saw it too. Seeing you in that courtroom, it hit him. You're really doing it. I paused, waiting for guilt. It didn't come. I'm proud of you, Diego added. I'm sorry I didn't get it before. Tears pricked my eyes. Thanks, Diego. Dad and I didn't speak, but I was okay with that. My life was full. Law classes, design projects, a pro bono case on the horizon. The Tenacity Award sat on my desk next to my law books, a testament to my journey. My worth didn't depend on Dad's approval. I'd reclaimed my path, my passion, my future. That was enough.